welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be ranking every middle school books by James Patterson. So let's get started. 16, Middle School, Ultimate Showdown. Do you think this is an actual book? No, it is not an actual book. It's basically kind of like some sort of like argument kind of like thing where like one person argues, another person argues, like pros and cons, stuff like that. That's basically what is in this book. It is very forgettable, and why was this book ever made? This is just so boring. It just talks about what they do and what stuff was like bland. What stuff do they like? Like, what is wrong with this book? I absolutely hated this book, and it's not even a fun book to go back to. 15, Middle School, Rafe, Aussie's Adventure. I don't know if I said that right, but the plot line of this book is boring and bland, and I don't think I remember reading this book, but like I think I remember the book being so just very boring. And okay, maybe I definitely never read this book, but like it could have had more in-depth analysis. In like the story is the story, yeah, I don't think it's good. So I know, I've never read this book myself, but if I had to rank it, I'll put it here, because this story won't be will definitely be a bad book, and the story just doesn't fit well to me, so yeah, not a great book. 14, Middle School, How I Got Lost in London. I am glad I never read this book, because, oh mama, it's not that good. It's just not very friendly to me, and just doesn't look like a safe book for some kids who are reading in London. Like, okay, I'll be lost in London. That's not a good message. So this book just doesn't really fit well with middle school, and yeah, the other book didn't as well. Yeah, it just doesn't really fit for people who are in middle school and read this book and be like, okay, I'll make myself lost later. Yeah, not a good message, and I hate this book. 13, Middle School, Just My Rotten Luck. Oh ho 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 ho. It's true, this book is rotten. I've definitely read this book before, and it has like it really copies from like the first two books, and it just expands more on it, which, not that is a bad thing, but like, couldn't you come up with an original idea than just this? Like, come on, man, you could have come with something better. James Patterson, what's wrong with you? And yeah, the book overall is just not that good. I don't think it's definitely aged well in the near future, because yeah, it's just not a book you should definitely read. I've read it before, and it's just not that good. 12, Middle School, Save Rafe. Now, this book is again not that inspired. The book just doesn't really hit well like the other book. Both books, like the other book that I just ranked, can be interchanged. I just put the one a little bit higher because the plot can be a bit more fun. A little fun. But where I recommend to go back to this book, no, I don't think it's aged that well. 11, Middle School. It's a Zoo in Here. The most recent middle school book. I haven't read this book myself, but you could have come up with a better plan next time. Like, a better idea. Like, seriously, some books probably already done this. So, what was the point of going back into that new idea chain and like, okay, I'll do this idea? So, yeah, the book is just about him being trapped in a zoo, or he's on a zoo trip, and there's so many zoos that he's escaping from them. Yeah, me neither. It's not a good book that you should read. I mean, I've never read it myself, but, like, I don't think it'll age in the near future. Sorry, but this book isn't that good to read, even though I never read it myself. 10, Middle School, From Hero to Zero. This book was actually pretty decent. The book, okay, maybe the book had some ideas before, but like this book, it's not the greatest to read. Like, I definitely recommend you guys go back and read this one, because this book has some charm in some places, and it's just overall not like a memorable experience to read. It's not a great book, but you should recommend to go read this book, because like to someone, or I recommend you, because it's a book that's very decent in its own matter. 9, Middle School, Field Trip Fiasco. Yeah, this book is hip and cool. It's not really hip and cool, but you know what I mean. I'm trying to get to the F&F thing. Anyways, this book is very just basically like, similar books like before, but like, more like super advanced in some areas. For one of the recent middle school books, I have to say Core Mechanic is pretty good, and I absolutely enjoy this book. You should definitely read this one. 8. Middle School, Dog's Best Friend. This book is so cute because it talks more about the dog. Aww. This book isn't the greatest, but it's pretty decent. And I've read it many times, and honestly, like, some of the pages are pretty cute to see, Raf's, dog there. I don't know if it's actual name, but you know what I mean. But I know, Raf, I can't spell. Anyways, this book is, pretty fantastic. It's not, like, fantastic, like, it's okay fantastic. Still a decent book, and, I would definitely recommend someone to read this book if I was back into time travel mode, because now I'm a teenager and I'm reading young adult books. Oops. 7. Middle School, Escape to Australia. This book was actually pretty good. Like, I read it myself, and it really improved from the other books that weren't really had good ideas in its twist. There's a lot of twists because, well, they're in Australia, and he had to support school there for a few months, I'm pretty sure. And honestly, Australia has so many animals, and you can get la. Yeah. But besides that, this is a fantastic book. You should definitely read it. And forget about me saying la. Sorry. 5.
So don't listen to him.
Born to Rock. This is the second time we get to see Raf's sister again. So this one's all about Georgia. I think that's her name. But if you say it's wrong in the comments, then I'm sorry. But yeah, basically she gets in a band called You Stink, and yeah, it rocks. Yeah. So if you're interested in music, this is the book you should definitely pick. I love it, and it's very interesting to read. It's just really fun to check out. 4. Middle School, How I Survived Bullies, Broccoli, and Snake Hill. Rolls right off the tongue, I know. But this is a book, in the 4th book of the series, released the same year as the other book that I'm going to talk about later. This book is fantastic to read. The book really improved from the other 2 books, and while it's technically not middle school, it's still a fantastic book to read if you're interested in camping stuff and survival tips. So, yeah, it's really good and one of the most memorable books to check out. If you're like me, check out this book. If you want to see some camping action. Oh yeah. 4. Middle School, My Brother is a Big Fat Liar. Now, you're glad you heard those screams because the original audio I said the wrong thing, and now I'm actually saying the right thing. Thank God. So, yeah, this is the real 4. So, yeah, basically, this book really has the privilege to talk about her sister, and his sister, and we finally get to hear her point of view in this book. The book is fantastic, and we get to learn what she does. And while you can kind of talk about this as a girl's book, it's not really a girl's book to me. It's a pretty fantastic book and somehow very fun to read.
I'm just kidding. This book is so good.
3. Middle School, Get Me Out of Here. So, yes, this book really improved from the first book, which I'll get to later, by adding in more details, like more like storyline, like just like in a different city. This is a fantastic book to read. You should definitely I definitely recommend you to read this book because it has stuff that really catches your eye and beautifies his illustrations, Raf's illustrations. It's just a fantastic book to read. 2. Middle School, The Worst Years of My Life. So this was the very first middle school book. He talks about his life as in middle school and how he messes up so much that he gets kicked out every single time and like expelled. So yeah, that's why this is another time in middle school. We get to learn what he does every day. We get to learn his troubles. We get to learn like some sort of thing. I think it was called like Rafe or something. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, this is it's like Operation Rafe. Yeah, that's how the book became very popular. It's an amazing book, and definitely a book you should definitely read to anyone. But there's one more particular book that became even better than this one. 1. Middle School, Master of Disaster. This book is fantastic. It is very good. It is so good. You want to know why? Crossover. One word. That's the one word. Crossover. It crossover with a lot of James Patterson's properties, and of course, middle school. And during after the end of each story, there's like another part where like Jimmy and Rafe try to like change the timing before it's too late. So yeah, this book is very sentimental and very memorable and shows like how people should definitely read books. And it's truly the best middle school book thanks to its crossover and its epic stories. Look, can we just forget about the numbers? Just forget about the number problem. Whatever. Thanks for watching my ranking, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.